my name is Julia and today we're going to be doing yoga in a type that I love when we focus on flexibility. Now flexibility at the beginning most people start working on because they want to take a picture of themselves on Instagram and doing splits. But what I found that really impacted my life was the more flexible I became, mentally also, but we can get there later, the more flexible I became, the more easy everything was in life, whether it was also something to do with training, like building strength, or even just walking or getting upstairs. You start to feel a lot more able and a lot more mobile in your life. So with that said, let's get started. And we're going to start just in a simple sitting on your heels. And if you would like to join me already starting in a flexibility practice, we can tuck our toes under, sit on our heels and get that nice deep stretch in the soles of our feet. So it can be quite tough at the beginning. So if at any point you try this and it's too much, just come out, tap your toes and sit back on your heels. Otherwise, we'll not be here for so long. Let's just join together in a grounding practice to begin. So bringing the tops of your hands on your thighs. Roll those shoulders down the back, close your eyes, and let's just start to connect with the breath. Feel as your chest rises and falls. See if even with the slight pain that you get from stretching the soles of our feet, if you can start to focus just on the breath, on the stillness, on parts of your body that are very relaxed, and see if you can distract yourself. We'll just stay here for 2 deep breaths now, so inhaling through the nose, and you can exhale, sigh out the mouth. 1 more breath, inhaling through the nose, and exhaling, sigh out the mouth. I think we're ready to move on. So bringing the hands down onto the mat, tap those feet out. Good job. This is a kind of meditation in itself, learning to deal with that here. And let's actually bring some flexibility into the wrists. So we can start rolling the body forward to the side and back. And just taking this in one direction, feeling a little bit of pressure on the wrists, warming them up. And then taking it in the other direction. And see if even in this simple pose you can actually activate the core and have the top of the body really activated in a kind of half plank shape. Keeping strong. And then maybe if you'd like to, you can also invert the fingers so they're coming in closer towards the body. Tuck those toes again and just rock back and forth. Bringing some flexibility into the wrists and also coming up to the forearms. Breathing deeply. And then when you're ready, bring those hands back forward so the shoulders are over the wrists and your hips are over the knees. And then we're just going to take some cat-cows. So as you inhale, drop your belly, open the chest through the shoulder blades, gazing up, stretching all the way to the neck. And then exhale, push through the fingers, push through the knees, really chin in towards the chest, gazing towards your belly. And 2 more times, inhaling deeply, stretching the front body. And then exhaling, pushing the mat away, gazing towards the knees or maybe the belly button, chin in towards the chest, even stretching out the back of that neck. One last time, give it your all. Inhaling, opening up, chest comes through the shoulders, pushing through the hands. Exhaling, last time, cat. And then coming back to center. Let's walk those hands out in front of us so the back of the body stays the same. Walking the hands out and just dropping your forehead down on the mat. And if you'd like to intensify the stretch, puppy pose, you can come up onto the tips of the fingers like spiders in front of you, and you start to feel that shoulder stretch really activate a little bit more. And you can also try and push those armpits as if you're trying to touch the armpits down on the mat. Breathe deeply here, opening up the shoulders. Think about the fact that we're hunched over our phones and our laptops and we're in downward dog a lot. This is the time to give some love to the shoulders. And exhale. And then slowly and carefully lift yourself back up, plant your hands on the mat. And then just tuck those toes under, pushing the hips up, downward facing dog. So let's start by here, bending the knees as
generously as we can and really push through all 10 fingers. So pushing through the fingers, pushing the hips up towards the sky and dropping those shoulders from the ears. And then just see if you can release one heel down onto the mat at a time. So the right heel comes down, and then swapping, left heel comes down. And just feel that nice deep stretch along the back of both legs. If it feels right for you, you can also turn a little bit as you're doing it, pushing one heel down and gazing under the opposite armpit and back through center. And then just slowly walk those feet up to meet the hands at the top of the mat, and then just dropping your head down, coming into ragdoll pose. Bending the knees generously, grabbing either elbow, and then just swaying from side to side. So here, really relax your head. Feel your head and shoulders and everything heavy being pulled down by gravity as you open up the back body, giving some love to the lower back. And then slowly coming to center, dropping those fingers down, chin comes towards chest, and roll your way up to standing. Just start giving some nice shoulder rolls here, warming up the body. And then arms coming up overhead, and have your arms about shoulder width apart. And then we're just gonna grab the left, grab the left wrist with the right hand, and then just bending over to the right, stretching out that left side body. Smiling, or you can close your eyes and really feel into it. And then coming back through center, swapping sides, so now the right wrist, I get it. And then just leaning over to the left, making sure that your chest stays open, feeling that nice side stretch in the body. And coming up through center, feet staying as they are, and just coming into a nice forward fold. So this time really just working on dropping the head down and maybe placing the palms down if you can. If not, you can also have your hands onto the thighs wherever you are, just dropping the head and seeing if you can relax completely here. So even if you're hanging here, see if you can bring some more weight into the lower back, and then see as if someone's pushing you with the hands, so you're curling in towards the legs. Breathing, crown of head coming towards the mat, every breath sinking deeper. And then slowly chin comes into chest, bending at the knees and rolling your way up to standing, and find yourself back at the top of the mat. So palms facing forward, we're in Tadasana. Let's inhale, our arms coming up overhead again, and then exhale, push the eight away, come into a forward fold. Inhale, coming into a flat back position, so you're bringing the fingertips onto the mat, gazing forward, and then exhaling, planting those hands back, stepping the left leg back and the right leg back, and push your hips back to downward facing dog. Now let's work on those legs a little bit here. So bring the right leg out behind you, bend the knee, and see if you can have the knee facing as if it's touching the ceiling, and then making some circles in the sky as if you're drawing an O, or you can make an infinity loop or an H shape, whatever you're feeling today. Be creative. Maybe try and draw your name in the sky. And then reverse direction wherever you are. And slowly coming back to center, right leg behind you. And then slowly bring that right foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. Drop your left knee. We're going to come into a nice low lunge here. And then flatten that back foot. Using your core strength, lift the upper body up. Bringing the arms up by your ears. And then gazing forward, rolling those shoulders down the back, pushing the hips down, so the hips are really gravitating towards the mat here. Feeling that nice stretch. So here we're working on the flexibility of the hip flexors, which I feel can get super tight if you're a runner, if you're a cyclist, but also just in general, sitting, we really tighten this part of the body, so really enjoy that nice stretch. Remembering to always keep the torso long as possible. And then we're going to exhale our hands, framing the front foot, and then bringing the hips back, hamstring stretch. So here, just flexing that right foot, gazing down. So again, crown of the head is really gravitating towards the front of the mat and lengthening that spine. Exhale,
let's bring this into a flow. So inhaling to come forward, dropping the hips, opening the chest, gazing up. Exhale, coming back. Inhale to come forward. And exhale to come back. Remembering to flex that foot. Inhale last time forward. And exhale, flexing that foot. Staying here. Or you could tuck the back toes under, dropping the hips down a little bit more. Maybe if this is okay for you, you can also flatten that back foot and sit back. Just remembering to keep the spine long. Or if you'd like to, we could also practice splits. So this is half splits. You can also push that heel forward, drop the hips down and coming into a nice splits here. I like to, if I'm practicing this, like right now, I'm not fully flexible yet, but you can put a block or maybe even a pillow under your seat bones and then just try and see if you can bring your hands to either side of your hips so you keep the torso up. And if there's any pain, just try and get out as softly as possible for your body. Wherever you are, one last breath. And then slowly coming forward, back into that low lunge again, planting your left hand on the mat and opening that right arm up. So we're getting a nice twist here. Flexibility in the spine is also important. Trying to drop that shoulder away from the ear so everything is really lengthening. And then grabbing your back foot with your right hand, so bending at the knee. And using that back foot to put some pressure, pulling away from the hand, and that helps that twist really evolve. And if you're wanting to focus more on the hamstring stretch that you're getting, you can try and bring that foot closer towards the body. 2 deep breaths here. Inhaling, pushing through that left hand and really opening up. And maybe exhaling, bringing that foot in towards the bum. And exhale. And now softly release that back foot, bringing the hand to frame the front foot, tucking the back toes under, downward facing dog. Now bending one knee at a time, shaking the head, seeing how both legs feel. Does one feel maybe a little bit different now to the other? If so, that is okay. We're going to do the other side now. So the left leg goes out behind us now, and we're bending that knee this time. And let's start making those movements we made on the other side, writing your name, making some circles, drawing an infinity loop, whatever your game is today. Just make sure you reverse the direction as well. We're all about equality in yoga. And slowly coming back to center and bringing that left foot through between the hands at the top of the mat. Dropping that right knee down this time. And again, finding your low lunge, activating the core and bringing those arms up by the ears. So dropping the hips down. Again, you can really feel that nice stretch along the front of this right thigh this time. Breathing here. Inhaling, activating the fingers, dropping the shoulders. Exhaling, seeing if you can open those hips even more. Inhale and exhale. And then dropping those hands, so we're framing the front foot and coming back into that hamstring stretch. And again, just lengthening the crown of the head towards the front of the mat. Maybe walking the hands out even more. Maybe you want to drop the head, or maybe you're up here. All forward bends should come straight from the lower back and then work our way. So don't curl in so the head comes down. We try and see if we can make the connection between the belly and the top of the thigh first, and then further and further. Okay, that's enough talking for now. So let's start rolling forward into our low lunge. Exhaling, hamstring stretch. Inhaling, low lunge. And exhale, hamstring stretch. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Last one, inhale forward and exhale back. Then coming forward, planting that right hand on the mat and opening the left arm up this time. So again, dropping that shoulder from the ears, opening out into this nice twist. And again, you can catch that back foot if you'd like to, and just remember to swing that left shoulder open if you do, and really push through the left foot to help guide you. Everything is really active here to help the twist become even nicer and even deeper. And again, just seeing if you can work with that hamstring stretch as well. You can hold it or maybe make some nice movements in and out. Your yoga, your practice. You make the rules. Inhaling and exhale. Slowly releasing that back foot. And then we're going to bring the left hand on the outside of the left foot. We're going to come back into that hamstring stretch, flexing that front foot. And again, you can stay here, you can tuck the back toes, you can sit onto this heel, or you can push the heel forward and come into your full splits. Either way, really just working on the integrity of your stretch here, working slowly, softly, and knowing your limits. And wherever you are, one more breath here before we come back forward, planting the hands on the mat and coming back to downward facing dog. Let's drop the knees down for a moment. We've stretched out the legs a little bit. So bring your body down onto the mat and let's stretch out those shoulders again. So bringing your hands to a nice T shape, so like a goal post, bringing your forehead down, bend the left knee and see if you can bring that left foot over the right leg. Maybe you touch the ground, maybe not. And then just drop your right ear down onto the mat. Feel that nice opening in the front of the right shoulder. Breathe deeply there. Send some love to this normally ignored area of the body, especially when it comes to healing and restoring. One more deep breath here on the right side. And then coming through center, take it to the other side. So left ear comes down, right leg bends, right leg goes over. And then stretching out the left side. Breathing deeply into this place, in this part of the body. Think about every time you've slept badly or you've texted in a train and your head is hunched over. This is your time for your shoulders to get some love. And then slowly coming back to center, planting those hands onto the mat next to you by your ribs and just push yourself up. We're going to take one last deep stretch here and it is frog pose. So frog pose is not normally everyone's favourite, but I think sometimes the ones that you don't want to do, you should do even more. So I'm trying to do frog pose also myself, a little bit more. So you can grab a pillow if you would like to, because we're going to be opening up just as our arms were in this position. You have your knees at either side of your hip. And then you bring the legs out, so it's like a nice 90-degree angle, and you flex the feet. And then maybe you can see where you fit here, right? It's like sometimes you might be up here and that's enough. Maybe see where this feels good. And then you stay here, just trying to really push those hips down. Again, if it's too sore, just pull out of it, be gentle, be soft with yourself. Maybe you rock back and forth to really just get the hips warmed up. And maybe you come down onto the forearms, and maybe you also walk the hands out in front of you. And maybe with time, you feel the knees pull a little bit further apart. I like to make it a little bit more active and just rock back and forth, maybe make some circles. You can drop your head. And exhale. Wherever you are, breathing deeply through the, maybe, let's not say pain, but the harder type of situation. Not all poses in yoga that are hard or strength-based. Sometimes the flexibility not only is hard, but it works with our endurance in the mind. So can we allow this to settle well with us? Can we feel, okay, this is good for me, it's not sore in a painful way, it's maybe just hard for me. Can I allow this? It's quite easy to just come out and be like, whoa, can't do it. With time, you can do everything, I'm sure. And then wherever you are, coming back into the hands if you're on the forearms, and gently get your knees back together. Sit on your butt for a second. We're just going to windshield wiper our feet so your feet are hip distance apart, and just move the knees from one side to the other. It's quite an intense stretch, so it's good to not just come out of it and keep moving. Just give some time for them to get back to normal, open up even more. And then find yourself in the middle of the mat in a nice seated position, cross-legged. We'll just stretch the neck last, because again, as I said, these parts of the body seem to be overlooked because it's sexier to be able to do splits, but it's really good for you to be able to look after the neck. It is holding that head of yours all day, and if you think heads are so heavy. So let's just bring our hands interlaced behind the head, and then we bring the elbows in towards each other, and then bring the elbows in towards the body. And maybe you can already feel that nice stretch along the upper back. Breathe deeply here. Really breathe into the neck, breathe into the head, breathe into the upper body.
One more breath here, curling in, maybe see if we can go deeper. And then coming out, opening the elbows and releasing the hands. And then just taking the neck from side to side gently. Maybe chin to chest. And maybe if it's available, the head comes back. Feeling the sides, stretching out either shoulder. And then bringing that chin towards the chest. Your hands coming together at heart center. And thank yourself for turning up for this yoga class today. It was a pleasure to guide you, and I really hope you feel good, and I will see you next